Hi Libra, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a reading for January 2020. Please join me here while I'm shuffling. Set aside any tasks that you may have on the go, and please bring all your presence to this reading. I want to make sure that you don't miss any of the messages that your higher self is passing along to you. While I'm shuffling, please check in with your higher self and your guides. Ask them to connect with my higher self and guides so that we can create a feedback loop. That way the messages that come through today will be relevant and tailored for you. You might want to grab some headphones as well while you listen to this reading so you really are not bothered by any distractions going on around you. So let's take a look at the general energies for Libra. Interesting cards. You have King of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. Now, there's a lot of court cards in this reading. You have the King and Queen of Wands, and they're both in reverse, so there's some counterpart energy in this reading. It could very much be a relationship reading because you also have the Lovers in this spread as well as the Ten of Cups. We'll talk about it. There's also the Page of Wands in this reading as well. This one's upright. So this King and Queen are both in reverse. I forget which one was where now. Let's just do this. So there's also Queen of Pentacles at the heart of the reading, crossed by the Eight of Cups. A little bit hard to see these cards. I'm just working with this new deck for the first time. This is the Aquarian Tarot if anyone's interested. I really do love the artwork, but I'm feeling like it's not really good for on camera. It's hard to see the images because it's quite small and detailed. So give me a sec here to tune in. There's a lot going on in this reading. Two of Pentacles at the foundation. Seven of Swords reversed in the crowning card position. I want to pull the cards at the bottom of the deck so I have everything out on the table at once. So there's King of Cups, Six of Swords reversed, Nine of Swords reversed, and the Moon. The Moon has been coming out a lot in readings this month. I feel like the eclipse energy, I'm doing this reading right now in between of two eclipses. We had the solar eclipse in late December, and in a couple of days we're going to be having a lunar eclipse. Very powerful eclipses. The astrology at the moment is pretty intense. I'm not an astrologer, but I do like to keep up to date with what's happening astrologically. There's a lot of energy in Capricorn at the moment that's bringing about a lot of changes with regards to power and... Anyway, I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to try to do that here. But what I feel in your spread here is that there could be something that's being revealed, some kind of... there's a revelation that you're receiving right now, but it's got to do with yourself. There's something that you're seeing that you may have been like either peripherally aware of in the past or maybe not willing to look at directly. Maybe there have been some difficult or troubling conditions within one-on-one relationships in the past that may have left you like confused and a little bit disoriented or uncertain or feeling a bit insecure in some way. And what I feel right now is that there's something that's being revealed that it may be showing up through the trigger of another individual, and most likely that's the case because that's usually how these things kind of work. Like unless another person is facing off with you and really like in a very close personal way, it's kind of sometimes hard to get to these kinds of really fundamental self-learning points unless we're actually really, really dedicated to our own spiritual development. Not to say that you're not, but in modern life today, I think through relationships is the one way that we can see a lot of things that we may not have access to. And that's what I'm feeling in this reading. You're getting some kind of awareness about a particular trait or issue or insecurity or energetic pattern, template, that has been playing out over and over again that may have caused in the past multiple relationships to end. I don't want to say fail, because it's not about that. It's about relationships that maybe ended abruptly or ended sooner than you thought they would, or like some kind of confusing element in relationship dynamics where it wasn't clear, like, why is there this sort of muddled energy or inability to really see with certainty what a specific issue is. And at this time, I feel like you're getting that. You're getting what that is. And it's not really showing me exactly what it is in this reading, because obviously it's going to be different for everyone. But that's the general pattern I'm seeing here, is that some kind of... It's interesting. There's something about this Two of Pentacles. There's some kind of way in which you pull and push energy with another person that is showing up here as... It's really hard to put words to it. It's almost like the way you give and receive in relationships has been a way of compensating for something. And that energy of like giving and taking, but like in this kind of earthly plane, in this direction, it's almost like you're seeing now that has been like kind of depleting in a way. And there is like the ability to see that now with clarity and kind of resolve some kind of... It doesn't have to be painful, right? This doesn't have to be painful. It can just be a moment of realizing that maybe that's what you've been doing unconsciously. And this could be a chance here for you to resolve, or just simply, it's like canceling itself out. It's canceling itself out. And I feel here with this, like with the energy of the Lovers in the reading, and also this Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and then King and Queen of Wands. There's also the King of Cups there. He's in the upright. So I feel like you're growing in this emotional intelligence, in a kind of awareness of the self that has been around you for a while, but you haven't actually been fully aware of or open to for whatever reasons. Just timing. There's no right and wrong. But I feel like there's a moment here where you're kind of like realizing that it's okay to let go of some baggage that you had. And also what I feel is here, actually, this is an interesting one. With this Seven of Swords reversed in the crowning position, you have 6, 7, 9 of Swords in this reading. That also, and the Ace of Swords. There's also been a couple of readings this month where there was like 6, 7, 8, 9 of Swords in the spreads. Again, I'm only mentioning these things because I feel like there is a kind of global patterns of energetic, like we're getting pulsed with certain energetic like light codes that are affecting all of us in similar ways, and obviously it's going to play out for individuals completely differently depending on what you need to realize or evolve. What I'm trying to say here, there's this feeling of you maybe in a it's almost like this sudden flash of understanding and realization. All of a sudden you are available to a specific piece of information that helps you have a Satori moment. Like, it is very enlightening. But at the same time, in that moment of revelation, you go back in your memory to a bunch of past circumstances and situations that you realize are all connected to this one piece of information that you're gathering. And I just mention that because I think it's important to say this is not about feeling guilty or feeling like... Avoiding self-judgment is important. I'll say it that way. Avoiding self-judgment is important. It's just about being available to the information that is expressing right now with all of your awareness to actually receive the guidance and the enlightenment that's coming through, so that you can just be aware. Just be aware. Be aware of the way you may have entangled in the past. Be aware of the way that you may have used that kind of push and pull energy to kind of, not necessarily exactly to control, but it is a little bit of a controlling energy. It's like what you can give to someone and what you can get from them. It's that kind of a feeling in this reading. And somehow for some of you, there's this energy at the moment where you're realizing certain things about particular energetic engagements from the past with one-on-one relationships where you're seeing what I'm talking about now, and you understand what was playing out there and what your responsibility and role was in a specific dynamic where things were just unclear. But now here you are. I feel like this King of Cups is you here. Like this level of awareness that you're embodying right now, where you're actually available to see a truth. You're able to see a truth, and it's enabling you to have a kind of rebirth. And it doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be painful. It can be like the revelation itself can liberate you so much if you just allow it, and if you minimize self-judgment or self-beration or any of that, like feeling guilty or feeling remorseful about whatever happened before, right? So, where are we? I'm feeling with this King and Queen of Wands in the reverse here in this reading, I get the sense that while you are here as the King of Cups in this part of the reading, the outcome, and there's this Queen of Pentacles at the heart of the reading. These can both be you and or your partner if you're in a one-on-one relationship, right? These could both be you, but there is also you in these two archetypes as well, King and Queen of Wands in reverse. So while there is this awareness, this grounded sensibility of understanding of your responsibility in the way you use energy, the way you move energy, there is in the same moment, there's also this part of you that is completely still unaware. And I feel like this is something specific here in this part of the reading, where there could be an interaction going on right now where that awareness needs to be translated into a situation where a communication is happening or some kind of push-pull thing is happening, and it's important for you to realize that you need to bring with the responsibility that you are, it's important for you to own, to bring the awareness of what you've understood into that situation, so you don't potentially play out the same thing again. I hope this is making sense. Now, all these swords in reverse, I feel there's a need to like minimize overthinking, because it's just creating anxiety. Spend more time in meditation. I mean, this is obvious stuff. There's nothing like mind-blowing about that message in particular, but it's obvious. It needs to be said right now. Utilize your intuitive, receptive space to actually, and like through meditation, but also some of you through your dream space, you could be getting insight during your sleep from your dreams via your higher self, and that those symbols and information are important to log and to pay attention to and to interpret in a way that feeds your awareness of a specific issue that we're talking about here. There is also in this reading a need for patience and a need for you to realize that this process, like right now, all of us are under the same conditions that feel very intensified and very, for some people it feels like a lot of pressure, but for other people, if you've already been dedicated to your path for some time, the energies that you're receiving now, there could be a feeling of pressure, but I feel like for some people, they're able to work through things pretty quickly because you're already kind of adapted and accustomed to the feeling of those like pulses that we get from like either the sun or the galactic center or whatever. Whenever we're getting these kind of intensified like triggers happening, if you're already kind of in an adapted state of being where you kind of are aware that that's what's happening and you work with that and you show up for what is being revealed to you and work with that and just face it head on, then it's a very blessed experience. But if you're unaccustomed to it and you just feel like it's a shitstorm and you're crumbling under the pressure of it, then this could be really difficult and painful. But just know that like all you have to do is deal with the task at hand. And the more attention you give it, the more you face it straight on, without the anxiety, without the fear, without the repression, without the resistance, without the defensiveness, without the self-loathing, you can move through this pretty swiftly and cleanly and pop out the other side with a greater awareness, with a greater openness, with a more like deeper understanding and a greater compassion for all of life. And that's the gift that's here. I don't know why. My throat is really scratchy, so I feel like some of you might be dealing with that. That could be what also all these swords are in reverse. There could be some difficulty in communicating your ideas. Page of Wands here as well. I feel like that's an issue here because I didn't have this going on before I started this reading. So that's something that you could also work with in your meditations, like work with blue light. Visualize with blue light, visualize your throat chakra and like help to clear it out and see if there's any need for purification or just working in that area if you're resonating with that. What else is here? I did say it already before, but I feel like to say it again. Like there's this energy here with this quadrant of the reading, Death and Ten of Cups reversed, both reversed, that if there is some understanding that's coming through now that is bringing you in your memory back to a previous experience, it's important not to allow remorse or guilt or self-judgment to have too much airtime. Wow, this throat thing is really... Yeah, there's Ten of Pentacles here. I feel like there's some... You may be getting some understanding about something really painful and difficult from the past with regards to a relationship or a family situation. If you feel that, maybe that's what this some of you may feel like you need to communicate and express and maybe even ask for forgiveness. For some of you, that could be something that's in here. If that's what you feel like you want to do, if you feel like you want to, you know, communicate something to someone, that could be very healing for both people. So just take that as it plays for you, if that resonates. What else is here? This Eight of Cups crossing is very interesting. There's also this moon energy again. It's hard to see in these cards, but yeah, there's a moon. There's this moon here in this card, Eight of Cups, and the moon again. So I do feel like there is some energy of like the eclipse that's like heavily affecting, like there's a healing process going on here that's being triggered by the eclipse. So maybe if you might want to kind of, after this reading, take a little bit of a look at what the eclipse is about and see how it relates to your current circumstances. See if you can get some insight there that will help you on your way. What I also feel in this reading is that some of you have been really, most of your life, a lot of your adult life especially, struggling with, there's an energy of struggle in this reading, of like feeling like you're constantly struggling to understand and to improve or to gain insight or to feel like you're getting somewhere with your spiritual journey. And I feel to say here that that's also something that you can transform by your own volition, is to understand that the journey doesn't change. It's just your attitude about the journey that needs to change. Like if you feel like it's a struggle, it's because you are struggling, right? I don't know if I'm expressing that very well. I think you need to stop thinking about it in terms of arriving at a certain point where all of a sudden you're going to feel better, everything's going to feel different, you're going to like be happy, and everything's going to work out great, and all the things you want to manifest will be there and show up and everything. It's not how this is. You got to embody that feeling of wellness and happiness and wholeness and self-confidence and self-love and gratitude. And that is something that is impenetrable and maintains with your own, again, effort and constant consistency. And then whatever is going on around you as far as like the challenges that you face, those will come and go. But that feeling needs to be something that you spend time cultivating, and stop thinking about things in terms of arriving at a point where everything's finally okay. And that's going to be it for the first part of the reading. That was the general. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now and do another higher octave spread. So please, again, bring your presence to the reading while I shuffle. Send your energy into the deck. The higher octave reading will provide some insight, hopefully, into some karmic and spiritual forces that are at play. And hopefully will also illuminate some blind spots that we need to see. And perhaps your guides and higher self can also share some practical insight on how to best work with the energies that we're dealing with. So send your energy into the deck. One more. Libra. Hangman is at the bottom of the deck. Empress, nice. Crossed by the Fool reversed. The Sun, wow, all majors. Woman of Cups in reverse. Woman of Worlds in reverse. Woman of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Ace of Crystals, we've had that there. Seven of Pentacles, a lot of earth energy in this reading. Eight of Wands reversed. Seven of Crystals, which we had here in the previous reading. Page of Swords reversed. Strength reversed. And King of Pentacles, which we had also in the, we had the Queen of Pentacles in the previous reading. Okay, let's take a look. Hanged Man here. I'm going to pull the bottom of the deck as well, so we have everything out on the table. Hanged Man in the upright, Four of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands reversed, and Five of Pentacles reversed. So I'm back. I took a little break here on this reading because I was kind of having a little bit of a hard time really getting into this spread. So what I'm feeling now actually is that this is a little bit of a specific message, and it was kind of throwing me off before because I wasn't sure if I should actually pass it on, but my guides asked me to. So for some people, there's pregnancy in this spread. You have Empress at the heart of the reading, crossed by the Fool child, and the crowning card is the Sun. So pregnancy is one literal translation of this energy, but it could also just be fertility in a general sense. There could be if you're not pregnant and you're not trying to get pregnant, or this is very far from your reality, there could be something here that you're wanting to birth, a new project or a new venture of some kind. You may be wanting to, switch career and move into something different. But what I'm feeling in the energy of this spread and how I feel it relates to the first spread is that for some people that are in a romantic dynamic with someone, and that the interpretation I gave in the previous spread with regard to revelation, with regard to sort of patterns and conditions that have been somewhat concealed previously that you may be now waking up to or becoming aware of, and that has something to do with that push and pull energy of the way you may have been like operating in a certain dynamic in your specifically like one-on-one intimate love, romance, relationships. How that I feel is like moves on into this spread is that if that's been something in your makeup and you're getting awareness around it now, it could be that this is very timely revelation to be aware of in light of the fact that you may be now moving into a space of becoming a parent, if this is the first time for you, if this is relevant for you. For some, I'm also feeling here that for some people, this is also like a little difficult to pass on, and it's not obviously not for everyone, but I feel like someone who might be watching this reading has maybe miscarried recently, or a pregnancy didn't go to term, and there could be some like residual tension or even physical conditions around that, maybe some anxiety. But I think that for some people, maybe the person who that message is for, it's saying here that vitality is returning and life is returning, and if you wish to become pregnant again, the conditions are here for you. You have this Queen of Cups in reverse in the foundation of the reading, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse in the recent past. So if you look at the image on this card, the Queen of Worlds, you see the pregnant figure, and it's in reverse in this reading in the recent past. So that's where I'm getting that interpretation about maybe a recent miscarriage or a loss in the past. And this Woman of Cups in reverse is some, as I said, residual emotional energy perhaps around a certain loss. But with the Empress upright and the full child crossing card with the sun, and there's also this Three of Pentacles in the outcome card, which is called nurturing. And this card also is kind of a, belongs to the Empress. So it's an additional, for me, energy that's kind of affirming a fertility or a pregnancy or some kind of like growing family situation and or something in business or creative ventures. So things are changing. That's what this quadrant of the reading is. Eight of Pentacles upright with the King of Pentacles upright. So there's an energy around change, but it's a very, again, there's a lot of World Pentacles cards in this reading. So it's speaking very much about the physical realm, family, children, finances, work, money. Everything's kind of changing here. That's what I feel. There's kind of a, I feel like the wind is at your back. Like after a time period, for some of you, for some years now, I feel that there's been a lot of difficulties in work, in life in general, in relationships, in family, in business. Here I feel there is a turning point happening where the wind is now at your back, and all the effort that you've put in, not just in business and in creative pursuits and in your relationships, but in your personal development. And that's what I was getting in the previous reading too, that feeling of having been primed actually for maybe something that you're becoming aware of now might seem like a sudden revelation, but it's actually the result of years of work that you've put in into your own self-inquiry, into your own healing, into your own self-discovery, into your own development, into your own, letting go and releasing and developing and building your own character that has made you available to information that is revealed to you now that enables you to have like what feels like a very big moment of clarity to move you forward into something that it could almost feel like night and day. It feels so different from, like what's ahead of you now feels so different from what has been, and it's a very hopeful feeling. It's a very empowered energy in this reading. There's a lot of like, with simply these two cards here together in this quadrant, and here you have Ace of Crystals with the Strength. It's this feeling of like, yes, I'm awake now. I'm awake now, and I know what to do. Like there's still maybe work ahead of you, certainly. I mean that's always true. But this feeling here of now maybe a little bit of, you might be having a moment of where things, you're kind of like gliding downhill. You've been climbing uphill for a while, and you've reached the peak of the hill, and now you can just like sit back and glide a little bit. Not forever. I mean, there's going to be other hills, right? But for this particular snapshot of time, I feel like there is it's almost like a reward for all the hard work you've put in. You get to experience a moment here now where there's a little bit of relief. There's a bit more fun. There's a bit more money. There's a bit more pleasure. There's more understanding too, and there's better communication. There's a little bit of space and freedom from challenges and difficulties of the past. You may also at this time feel like you're coming to terms with losses and disappointments from the past, and are able to overcome your emotions, your anger, your frustration, your resentment, or any emotions that you may have been still carrying until recently that were related to events or circumstances from the past. I feel like you're getting a relief from that. You're giving yourself a relief from that now. You're getting this feeling of like it was for something, and I get it now. And there's a sense of awakening and illumination and enlightenment around many issues that may have been troubling you and even plaguing you for some time. And so it's a really beautiful feeling of just like resting in a comfortable moment of pleasure and joy and understanding. And it's beautiful. What else is here? Yeah, it's there's definitely a feeling of having made a major breakthrough around this time. And I'm hearing lean into it. So your guides are kind of offering you this, and it's that same feeling I had before with like the visual of being like kind of pedaling up a hill, and you hit the peak of the hill and you get to enjoy the view and rest a little bit while you kind of just glide downhill and enjoy the ride. My throat feels better now. There's definitely something in this reading, the previous spread more, with regard to some difficult communication or a feeling challenged in not being able to express like some concepts or ideas to a person that was making you feel like you're kind of not able to take out the feelings or take out the emotion or take out the concepts and share those things with another person in a way that helps resolve or eliminate or neutralize some kind of energy that felt like it was just hardened and a little bit brittle and stifled. So that shifted now. I feel like there's some like greater opportunity for clarity and communication. I really like that the sun is crowning this reading. It's really giving a lot of light and vitality and life and healing energy to this spread. I feel like that's it for your reading, Libra. Just let me check over here and see what else is here. I think physical health and wellness at this time is particularly relevant and important, given that there are so many Pentacles cards, but especially that the Empress is at the heart of the reading. That is a card for healing, for the physical body, emotional body too, but I feel like there's like a particular spotlight on your physical being and taking really good care about that, especially if you are kind of finding out that you may be pregnant. It's important to give particular attention to the needs, the physical needs. Yeah, I feel like that's it for your reading, Libra. Last message there, they're saying take time to enjoy. Take time to enjoy. So I'll leave your reading with that. Thank you so much for watching, Libra. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I hope you found some things in there that you can use. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading.